Have you ever walked away from a conversation, a group gathering, or even just a quick exchange, feeling inexplicably drained? You replay the interaction in your mind, wondering what it was that left you feeling so depleted. Was it something you said, something they said, or maybe it's just the natural price of socializing? For most of us, when we think about energy, our minds go straight to the basics. Did I get enough sleep last night? Did I eat well today? Maybe I've been skipping workouts, or stress is piling up from work. These are the usual suspects when it comes to fatigue. But what if I told you that there's an invisible thief in your life, one that's just as responsible, if not more, for your constant state of exhaustion? What if the way you're engaging with people every single day is quietly, steadily draining your mental and emotional reserves? Let me ask you this. How many times have you felt compelled to keep a conversation going because you didn't want to seem rude? How often do you say yes to an invitation or a favor, even when you know deep down it's the last thing you have the energy for? And how often do you find yourself rehashing interactions long after they're over, agonizing over how you came across or what someone might think of you? These moments may seem small, tiny drops in the bucket of your day. But over time, these drops add up. They create an undercurrent of fatigue that slowly but surely erodes your capacity to stay present, productive, and most importantly, at peace. Here's something we rarely acknowledge. Many of the social habits we've picked up over the years, habits that seem polite, normal, or even necessary, might actually be working against us. These habits are like silent energy vampires, subtly but consistently siphoning away your vitality without you even realizing it. And the most dangerous part? We often mistake these habits for signs of connection, when in reality, they're barriers to it. But here's the truth you need to hear. Your energy is not limitless. Every interaction, every decision, every moment spent on the wrong social habits is energy you can't get back. And in a world that's already demanding so much from you, work deadlines, personal goals, family responsibilities, why let your relationships add to the strain? That's exactly what we're here to address today. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into 7 common social habits that may be sabotaging your energy. We're not just scratching the surface here. We're going to explore exactly why these habits are so harmful, not just in the moment, but over the long term. And most importantly, we're going to equip you with practical, actionable steps to replace these energy-draining patterns with habits that uplift and empower you. Imagine this. What if your social life didn't feel like a source of stress, but a source of strength? What if your interactions left you feeling lighter, clearer, and more aligned with who you truly are? What if you could set boundaries without guilt, say no without hesitation, and engage in relationships that genuinely nourish your spirit? That vision is possible. But it starts with recognizing the habits that are holding you back. Throughout this video, we'll shine a light on these silent saboteurs. We'll talk about the compulsion to please others, the fear of conflict, the addiction to over-explaining, and more. These aren't just quirks or personality traits. They're patterns that can be unlearned. We'll also talk about how your energy is like a currency, one you spend with every interaction. And just like with money, spending it recklessly can leave you bankrupt. But by being intentional, by learning where and how to invest your energy, you can rebuild your reserves and create a life that feels not just manageable, but fulfilling. So, if you've ever felt overwhelmed, drained, or stuck in relationships that seem more taxing than rewarding, this is your wake-up call. This is your chance to take a step back, reevaluate, and reclaim control over your social life and your mental well-being. You deserve to feel energized. You deserve to feel clear-headed. You deserve relationships that add to your life, not subtract from it. And it all begins right here, right now. Let's get started. When we think about energy, most of us picture something tangible, physical stamina, the fuel that gets us through a busy day. We associate it with things like sleep, food, or exercise, but energy isn't just physical, it's also emotional and mental. And here's something many people overlook. Every single social interaction you have, whether it's a short conversation, a lengthy discussion, or even an interaction online, either adds to your well-being or takes away from it. Think about that for a moment. Every word spoken, every message typed, every moment spent engaging with others leaves an imprint on your energy levels. Some interactions leave you feeling uplifted, understood, and even inspired. But others, they drain you. They weigh on your mind and your heart long after they're over, leaving you feeling exhausted in ways that no amount of sleep can fix. This is the quiet power of social energy. It's something we all experience, yet few of us consciously manage it. And when we don't, the consequences start to creep into every corner of our lives. Let's break this down. The hidden costs of negative social habits. First, there's emotional exhaustion. This is when you feel drained without understanding why. You might have had a perfectly normal day on paper, but by the evening you're completely wiped out. Why? Because certain social habits, like overexerting yourself to meet others' expectations, constantly worrying about how you're perceived, or engaging in unproductive conversations, are siphoning away your energy without you even realizing it. Then there's social anxiety. Maybe you felt this, the endless loop of second-guessing your words, replaying past interactions, or worrying about what others think of you. It's mentally exhausting, and it creates a barrier between you and your authentic self. Next, think about productivity. Every ounce of energy spent on interactions that don't serve you is energy that could have been invested elsewhere, on your goals, your passions, or even your peace of mind. Negative social habits steal your focus, leaving you feeling stuck and unaccomplished. And let's not forget relationships themselves. Toxic habits, whether it's constantly trying to please others, avoiding conflict at all costs, or seeking validation, don't just drain you. They erode the very foundation of trust and authenticity in your relationships. Over time, these patterns create distance, resentment, or a sense of superficiality in your connections. Perhaps the most profound consequence is the loss of identity. When you're constantly bending to fit others' expectations or chasing their approval, you begin to lose touch with who you really are. Your energy becomes tied to external validation rather than internal alignment, and the result is a lingering sense of disconnection from yourself and your purpose. A relatable example. Let's bring this to life. Think about the last time you scrolled through social media or spent time with a group of people. Maybe you didn't physically exert yourself, but by the end of it, you felt completely drained. Why? Because it wasn't just about the time spent. It was the weight of emotional baggage. It was the subtle comparisons to others, the unspoken pressure to keep up, or the effort of trying to present yourself in a certain way. This kind of exhaustion isn't about muscles or movement. It's about the toll of emotional and mental effort. And yet, we often dismiss it, thinking it's normal or unavoidable. The Stoic perspective. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism offers a profound insight. In Stoicism, the focus is on preserving your inner peace and directing your energy toward what you can control. A core principle is recognizing what truly matters and letting go of the rest. When we engage in these draining social habits, we lose sight of that control. We give away our energy to things that don't align with our values or our goals. We hand over our peace to fleeting opinions, unnecessary drama, or relationships that don't nourish us. The Stoics remind us, your energy is yours to protect. It's a finite resource, and how you spend it determines the quality of your life. Every interaction, every choice, every habit should reflect your intention to live with clarity and purpose. Shifting the perspective. So what's the solution? It starts with awareness. By identifying these draining social habits and understanding their impact, You can begin to take control. You can learn to set boundaries, say no when necessary, and prioritize relationships and interactions that genuinely uplift you. Remember, your energy isn't just a resource, it's your life force. How you manage it shapes not only how you feel day to day, but also the direction of your entire life. In the next part of this journey, we'll break down 7 specific social habits that might be sabotaging your energy and provide you with practical strategies to replace them with empowering alternatives. Because at the end of the day, your energy is too valuable to waste. Let's make sure you're spending it wisely. The 7 social habits that drain your energy. Our social habits are often invisible forces, shaping how we feel, think, and navigate the world. While some habits enrich our lives, others quietly deplete our emotional, mental, and even physical energy. Let's dive deep into 7 common habits that might be sabotaging your well-being and, more importantly, explore actionable ways to overcome them. Habit 1. Over-apologizing description. Do you find yourself apologizing for things that aren't your fault or even necessary? Over-apologizing is a reflex many develop out of politeness, fear of conflict, or low self-esteem. Negative impacts. It undermines your confidence and self-worth, reinforcing the idea that you're always at fault. Others may perceive you as insecure or overly submissive, potentially affecting how they treat you. It creates a cycle of anxiety, making you feel the need to justify not only your actions, but even your existence. Practical example. Imagine you accidentally bump into someone at the grocery store. Instead of a simple acknowledgement, you find yourself saying, "I'm so sorry," multiple times, even though the other person wasn't upset. Or picture a work meeting where you begin every sentence with, "Sorry, but," as though your contributions need an apology before they're even heard. Solution: the gratitude shift. Replace unnecessary apologies with expressions of gratitude. For example, say, "Thank you for your patience," instead of "Sorry for being late." Pause and reflect. Before apologizing, ask yourself, did I truly make a mistake, or am I apologizing out of habit? If no harm was done, resist the urge to apologize. Habit 2. Gossiping description. Whether actively participating or listening passively, engaging in gossip ties you to negativity. It's a habit that often stems from boredom, a need to connect with others, or a desire to elevate oneself by bringing others down. Negative impacts. It traps your mind in cycles of negativity, reinforcing toxic thought patterns. It damages trust in your relationships, as others may question your loyalty. It creates an impression of unreliability or manipulation, which can harm your reputation. Practical example. Picture a lunch break at work where the conversation shifts to criticizing a colleague who isn't present. You join in to feel included, even though it leaves you with a lingering sense of guilt. Or maybe you repeat a juicy piece of information about someone, thinking it's harmless, only for it to reach the person and strain your relationship. Solution: redirect the conversation. Steer discussions toward neutral or positive topics such as hobbies, shared goals, or uplifting news. Set a personal rule. Before speaking, ask yourself, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? If the answer is no, choose silence. Habit 3. Saying yes to everything. Description. Do you often agree to requests, invitations, or commitments, even when they conflict with your priorities or energy levels? Saying yes too often is a common response to a fear of disappointing others or being judged. Negative impacts. It compromises your ability to focus on your personal goals and responsibilities. It breeds internal resentment as you sacrifice your needs for others. It leads to emotional exhaustion, leaving you spread too thin and unable to give your best. Practical example, your friend asks for a last-minute favor, and despite having a packed schedule, you agree just to avoid letting them down. Or you find yourself signing up for every event, group, and project only to feel overwhelmed and disconnected from your personal life. Solution: practice gentle refusals. Use phrases like, "I appreciate the offer, but I'm unable to commit right now." Intentional yes. Before agreeing to something, ask yourself, does this align with my priorities and energy levels? Habit 4. Seeking constant validation. Description: do you frequently seek approval from others to feel good about yourself? This habit can make you reliant on external validation instead of building internal confidence. Negative impacts. It makes your self-worth dependent on factors outside your control. It diminishes your authenticity as you mold yourself to meet others' expectations. Practical example: you find yourself checking your social media posts obsessively for likes and comments, tying your mood to how much engagement you receive. Or before making a decision, you consult multiple people, even though you already know what you want to do. Solution: self-validation practices. Take time to acknowledge your efforts and accomplishments privately. Write them down in a journal to internalize them. Set social media limits, reduce your screen time, and focus on real-world connections that don't rely on likes or shares. Habit 5. Avoiding conflict at all costs. Description: avoiding conflict might seem like a way to maintain harmony, but it often comes at the expense of your own needs and boundaries. Negative impacts. It creates internal resentment and unspoken stress. It prevents honest communication, leading to surface-level relationships. Practical example: you're in a group decision at work and everyone agrees on a plan you strongly disagree with. Instead of voicing your concerns, you stay silent to avoid being seen as difficult. Solution: reframe conflict. See it as an opportunity for growth and deeper connection rather than confrontation. Use nonviolent communication. Express your needs with calm and clarity, focusing on mutual understanding rather than blame. Stoic strategies to reclaim your social energy. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers powerful tools for navigating these habits and reclaiming your energy. Internal control. Focus only on what is within your power, your reactions, decisions, and mindset. Release attachment to how others perceive you. Daily journaling. Reflect on your interactions at the end of each day. What drained you? What uplifted you? Use this awareness to adjust your habits. Emotional distancing. Train yourself to observe negative stimuli, criticism, gossip, or conflict without reacting impulsively. Conclusion: your social energy is precious, and managing it wisely can transform your relationships and your sense of self. By identifying and overcoming these 7 habits, you take a vital step toward living with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Let's reclaim your energy, one habit at a time. As we reach the end of this journey, let's pause to reflect on what we've uncovered. The social habits we often overlook can quietly shape our days, our relationships, and ultimately, our lives. By identifying and eliminating these toxic patterns, you're not just reclaiming your energy, you're reclaiming your peace, focus, and the power to live authentically. Your energy is your most precious resource. Think of it as a limited currency, one that you must spend wisely. Every moment wasted on habits that drain you is energy lost forever. But every conscious change you make, no matter how small, is a step toward creating the life you truly deserve. A life where you feel in control, fulfilled, and aligned with your purpose. Imagine waking up each day with a clear mind, strong boundaries, and meaningful relationships. That kind of transformation starts with awareness. It starts with choosing to prioritize yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. Because when your energy is protected and well-directed, not only do you thrive, but so do the people around you. Take a moment to think about your own habits. Which of these resonated most with you? Is there a habit that you've struggled with but now feel ready to address? Small steps lead to big changes, and there's no better time to begin than today. If this video helped you reflect or inspired you to take action, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. And if you want to continue exploring topics like this, consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to like the video. It helps more people discover this content, and share it with someone who might need it too. Your energy is your power. Protect it, prioritize it, and watch how your world transforms when you choose to live consciously. This is your journey. Take the first step and never look back.